before I get too far, I'm going to change this up though. Let's make this a little bit more involved. And I'm going to say that we have an HSA contribution error. One of those things that we're not quite sure if this is going to be a payroll issue, if it's going to be a benefits issue. These are things that we want to be able to really kind of figure out as we go and research it, get it started, and then we'll see. You'll also notice, we might have solutions for troubleshooting some of these items as well. So that could be something that we might want to tackle. First thing I'm going to do once I do this is I need to capture an employee. Again, this would be automatically entered if it was submitted in other means. In this case, we'll say that it was Bill. When I add an employee to the system, the first thing you'll note I get is the ability to see the previous cases of that employee. I can go ahead and search for any of the previous cases, whether they're open or closed. It's a great way to check for duplicates. It's a great way to check to see if there's someone answer shopping, for example. So that's always worth a quick check as you're going through. The other item I want to just highlight here as when you have an employee entered is you'll see 3 dots after their name. That's your ability to see their profile view. From Dovetail's perspective, the information here at the top, this is sort of the minimal information that we would look to have used in setting up employees, basically enough information to identify them, find them in the system, and communicate with them. Below the status item, though, here are all just optional items, including the employee tags. Things to get you thinking about if there's information that you would like to take advantage of and have available in that profile view. If that's information you're able to provide to us, then by all means, we can have that configured here so you don't have to look for it in other systems, other places to look. And then finally, to create a case, we need to have a case type. And I can create this, and I should point out anything from a drop-down perspective here on out is configurable items. It's something that we would set up for you. It's also something that we give training on so that you can change these yourself and let the system grow with you. In this particular case, I would select the benefits as I create a hierarchy here, and then I could go to HSA, and then finally you could see I could have an information request or I have deduction errors. Below that are some general fields that we would use in essentially any case type would have these kinds of fields, but below that, you saw these popping up. These are custom fields that can be set up for any specific case type. You can specify what you want to see here. Examples of the types of information are illustrated here with this particular case where I can capture dates, maybe put that pay period time frame. I can have drop downs such as yes or no questions. I can have more involved drop-down lists if I need to, and I can have number enforced mechanisms, so I could have that put in there, and I also have the ability to have free-form information to put any answers to questions, any specifics that you want to capture. So this is a nice feature to be able to essentially create sort of a script, if you will, to capture information. It can be used with the general notes feature or instead of it, depending on what your use case is. And it really just gives you an opportunity to have more information. And also even people who are a little less experienced taking in a specific case type would at least have that script there to know what kind of information they're going to be looking for. Create that case here so we can get into this and see where we're at. And show less. This is the show more. If I want to see each of the fields that was updated, for example, I can have all that. The show less just focuses on specific communications that I'm going to be entering or receiving, which is a more common day-to-day format that you might leverage. In this, you see I'm ready to start adding information, or potentially I could dispatch it to one of those queues we talked about or assign it to an individual. We also have the ability now to start working the case if we're going to just continue on or if we'd accepted the case, and I could log notes and email to this case. Maybe I have a note that I want to update, provide some information, some details. And you'll see all this rich text formatting that I have capabilities for, including adding those images and links. If I paste something in, it's going to take in that same formatting, say from a Word document. And if there's snippets of things that I type regularly, I can always leverage, say, a template that I have want to use through this templates feature. You click here, you're able to add templates to different things that you might do. And here, maybe there's some checklist of things that I want to check. Make sure that, they are enrolled, they've gone through those details, just things that might remind me, questions I want to ask, however I want to leverage that. I could go ahead and make sure these were all checked off before I went any further, for example. However, this comes in really, really handy when it comes to email. So I'm going to show you adding email to a case. So within the system, we integrate with your email so that you email from the case, not from your personal work email. This allows you to have all of the communications in one central spot. Someone takes over for you while you're on vacation, they will be able to see all the communications and just pick up with those communications with the employee right from the interface here. I could change the person I was going to send this to. I could send it to a different employee. I could send it to someone even external to our system to be able to send notes to external parties. In this case, I'm going to leverage that template feature and give Bill his initial missing contribution response. Here you can see I've got it all templated out. I can add additional information. It's populating. Everything in blue you see is populating from the case itself. I just highlighted in blue so you'd see that, but didn't have to be. And I can update this. I can add additional information or attach files, just like a normal email. But that can be a huge time saver and also helps with ensuring consistency across the organization.
And Drew, I just want to piggyback on again what you just said there. So what we talk about in terms of efficiency from the HR professional standpoint is as you're working the case right there in the middle, you have the opportunity to leverage those templates, those workflows, and also have access to the demographics there right on the left-hand side of the employee in question. And on the right-hand side, you have your knowledge management. So you are working the case right here. You're not jumping from system to system. It really becomes more effective and very efficient leveraging the Dovetail.
Absolutely. And over time, your case is going to grow. You're going to have all of the information captured in one place that you can reference. If for any reason you do need to provide information to, say, an external party or to produce some of this information out, you can always click this to put it into a nice format for PDF. Here you'll see all the relevant details from the metadata perspective are listed at the top of the case. And then you'll have all of the subsequent case communications and details provided after that. Likewise, I did mention attaching something to an email, but you do have the ability to attach files to your case. It's a simple matter of just choosing the files that you want. There's really no limits to those files in terms of both the types or the numbers of files that you might want to be adding. So I'll just grab a couple here. We'll grab our solutions one. I meant to grab an HSA, but wrong document. That's all right. Just want to show you how you can grab documents, grab files, attach them to the case as you need to. Also, any attachments that come in as part of emails, those will also appear under both the Files tab, and when I attach these, it appears in that list in the order that those communications were received. This is going to have a little green check mark in a minute after it's done virus scanning, just to make sure that it's something that is safe to use and download, receive, look at, etc. And then you're going to basically have this case will grow over time and work its way through till we get to the point of closure. At that point, you can have a case marked as closed. We have, again, you can create your categories for how you want to report on this and enter in those items and enforce the ability to make people provide some description that you want to capture for any future reference or research on a case like this. We might put the resolution in here. And sorry, my finger, I hurt my index finger and my typing has gotten quite bad. Got to hunt and peck again. But that would allow you to detail those things out. Capture your case. Cases can always be reopened at any point. Further, we can have cases potentially be reopened by an employee. So back to that workflow automation, we'll have this set up to notify the employee that the case has been closed. If you so choose, we can use that same workflow automation to give you different options. Maybe you want to allow the employee to reopen the case. Maybe they reply to an email and reopen the case, or they do it through the portal. Maybe you want to give them a window of time before you want to close the case, and so you can have a timer kind of kicked off if there's no responses. there's some flexibility there. And really, that's what our implementation team's job is, to kind of understand your approach, what you would like to see happen, and to make sure that it happens for you.